Hello, I'm Pastor Lon Huff of Eagle Rock Baptist Church in Idaho Falls. I'd just like to invite you to join with me today and take a look at some of the ministries we have here at the church. Many of you may not know where Idaho Falls is, but it's about as far east as you can go in Idaho before you hit Wyoming. We're only an hour from Teton National Park and about 2 hours from Yellowstone Park. Anyway, I'd just like to show you some of the things we have done in the church this past year. Of course, with COVID-19, we were restricted from opening up our doors and meeting together for several months. But before that happened, there was one main ministry we like to do every year, and that's the Pastor's Appreciation Banquet, which is geared for the small churches and their pastors in the area. It's a tough mission here in Idaho Falls area just because of the high percentage of LDS churches that are here. The growth is very slow, and reaching these people is a long investment because they're very skeptical of what we're all about. But we just wanted to help these pastors be encouraged and minister to them. So in a few seconds, you'll see some of the pictures of that banquet. Another couple things I'd like to show you are just some of the fellowship things we do in the church. We have a game night every year, and then we have a summer picnic where we invite another church to join in with us. And you'll see some pictures of the fellowship, the food, and the fun we have there. So come on in. I'd like to just welcome you to Eagle Rock Baptist Church and see who we are and the ministries we have.
Hello, NAB Northwest families. I just wanted to give you a quick update on how things are going here in Sultan, Washington at Grace Fellowship. 2020 has been an interesting year to say the least, but we are grateful to the Almighty for the many things that He has done in and amongst our people here at Grace Fellowship. One big thing that was completed this year is after almost 6 years, well, about 5 years, I guess, 5 years of prayer and taking our time and working through a polity change, we have completely finished that process by redoing our Constitution and voting in almost unanimously a new Constitution. And so we are very grateful to God for that. And on the heels of that, COVID-19 hit. back in March. And we've been meeting outside since May. We look forward to getting back into our building here in the near future. But meeting outside has been, for the most part, actually a blessing. Many new families have joined us. Many of the people in our community have mentioned to me in passing that they can hear the sermons as well as the worship, and it's created conversations that we haven't had before. We're looking forward to when these COVID-19 restrictions end so that we can continue on some of our programs to evangelize the community. Right now in Sultan, this year alone, we've had about 600 houses that have been built or are being built. Several new developments right around the church. And so we're looking forward to the opportunity to proclaiming the good news of Jesus Christ to those new families coming into the area. We look forward to the time when we can fellowship in person, but until then, I want you to know that we're praying for you and that we are excited and encouraged about what God is going to be doing here at Grace Fellowship in the future. Blessings to you.
Hey, NAB friends. I'm Pastor Warren from Hope Community Church in beautiful Paul, Idaho, where the harvest is just getting going right outside this window. It is a great blessing to be with you, and I am so looking forward to hearing what God has done in the life of your churches over this chaotic year of 2020. I can't wait to share with you what He's done here, like all of us. Our plans for 2020, the specific ministries that we had laid out, got turned upside down and basically squashed in the early spring. One of the things that gave us a lot of hope was that although we were caught by surprise, we knew God was not caught by surprise. And instead of viewing this in the negative, we viewed it in the positive. And one of the passages that really kept us going, in fact, the whole book, was Habakkuk and his back and forth conversation with God. In the first chapter, of course, he's saying, God, why aren't you doing something about what's going on? And God says, I am doing something. You just don't know about it yet. And then God gives that memorable verse that gets transmitted into Romans 1, but the righteous shall live by his faith. And we looked at this as a faith building and a faith evaluating exercise. And we said, God, if what we had planned is not on your agenda, help us to see what is on your agenda. And we were flat out amazed. Not only were we able to turn back to the basics to say, what is it that we as a church family should be doing? And especially in the leadership group, we looked back and said, God, what is it that we're not doing well that we can do better? And he showed us those things and he helped us to improve in that area. But something super exciting happened over the course of us being locked out of the building and having to go to this kind of communication. And if you'll come with me, I'd love to show it to you. One of the plans that we had this year was to launch a Hispanic ministry that we have dreamed about and planned for several years. And of course, come early spring, that got squashed. But then God showed us something else. For a number of years, we have partnered with the Idaho Food Bank to distribute the food that they gather and give it to those in our county that are needing. And we came to discover that in this county and in the county on the other side of the river that we serve, that there is a high degree of food insecurity. God moved in the lives of some of the people here who'd been serving with the food bank for a number of years and moved them to say, we need to provide for our community in this way. We need to create a place where we can love our neighbors materially. And what you see behind me is the beginning of that process. God provided. We were able to buy all the shelving plus the stuff you can't see for next to nothing. The food that we see here and the food that is still coming in has been donated. It has been a blessing beyond reason. What we've learned is that the less we talk and the less we plan, the more God shows us. He shows us as we live by faith. And it's just been an incredible year. Let me share the prayer at the end of Habakkuk because it has been so inspirational to us. We have gone back to it again and again because we find that it really speaks to this day and time. Though the fig tree should not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, the product of the olive fail, and the fields yield no food, the flock be cut off from the fold, and there be no herd in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will take joy in the God of my salvation. God, the Lord, is my strength. He makes my feet like the deer's. He makes me tread on my high places. Grace and peace to you, God's richest blessing until we get together in person again.
Hey, well, greetings, NAB brothers and sisters, fellow churches. Bobby Gaither here, Hope Fellowship, and
Chris Comp here, Hope.
Yeah, you haven't quite met Chris yet. He was planning to be here. He had cleared his schedule and everything, and then, of course, COVID.
Yay!
Right? Woo-hoo. So, hey, just a quick update on what's going on here at Hope. A lot of good things are happening here. We've been meeting since August. We had to deal with the whole online thing, much as you guys, and I'm so thankful for you for your work in that. Otherwise, I would have been up to past my ears. So we figured that out, and now we're back. We're meeting in person again. This was our first Sunday back in the building, as the week before was smoke, and then this last week was rain. So we're here. And man, it's just been neat to be a body. I think meeting together again was probably one of the sweetest things. I think I made it about 5 seconds into our gathering. How long did you make it before you started crying?
I waited till I got home.
Okay, that's good. And it happened right away for me. But long story short, God is just really working among us, just teaching us to continue just being the body. A lot of blessings in that. I probably met more neighbors than in the past 6 months and just than I had before, which I typically know my neighbors. How about for you? What's been a blessing for you?
It's been great to learn that the body is listening, that they are connecting, even if it's online, and also to watch them reach out to each other and take care of one another when they're hurting. So this is really teaching us how to do that well and make sure we're continuing to communicate with each other.
So for sure. I'd say watching our body be the body and love and care for each other.
Exactly.
And also look outside even our own doors to our neighbors and to other people in the community and stuff too.
Sure.
We don't have much else to say other than we're just the church being the church. Miss gathering with you guys and worshiping with you guys. But glad we can at least see a video and you can see us. And that's it. So hello and goodbye from Hope Fellowship.
Hey there, it's Derek Feckus from Roots Church in Stanwood, Washington. Sad to not be with you guys and get to know all of you a little bit more this year down in Seaside, but look forward to hopefully doing that next year and seeing you some of you in the meantime. Chris asked us to share a couple ways that that God is working in our church through this time. Man, I'm sure as all of you can attest, it's just been a weird time and certainly had its difficulties and frustrations. I think for the most part for us, the biggest thing that just stands out is people have been faithful and continuing to, for the most part, stay engaged with the church. And we haven't lost anybody through COVID stuff and all of the division stuff. People haven't left the church for any of that. I'm reminded of John's words in Revelation 3 or Revelation 2. He says, "I do not lay on you any other burden, only hold fast what you have until I come." And I think the biggest encouragement is just seeing people continuing to just put one foot forward and in front of the other one and just take a step and just stay faithful even when that it'd be much easier to do many other things. And a little more practically, we've been meeting outside we met outside for 14 weeks in a row, minus this week of incredible smoke. But rain the rain of Western Washington did not hamper us for 14 weeks. We just met inside for the first time this past week. We had some rain. So we're probably inside from now on, but it was awesome meeting outside where our church is right on the main drag in Stanwood. So we get lots of cars driving by, which is mostly positive. But yeah, it's good visibility. It's good to kind of be in the community. I'm glad we got the chance to do that. Yeah, our church is staying connected. We've got some things going now in the fall. Started up youth group and some men's and women's studies that have been going really well. We are really close to being self-sufficient as a church after being planted a few years ago, and with the help of NAB and just many of you guys supporting us. So that's really exciting. Yeah, so that's what we've got going on. Miss you guys and hope to be able to see you soon.
Hey, NAB Northwest. My name is Nick Jackson, pastor of Timberline Baptist Church. And I just want you to know that I am bummed that we are not together this year. Over the last years, I've just grown in my love for the time where we gather each fall at Seaside. It's an amazing time where we just get to grow in our relationship with one another, see what's happening within the churches. But there's an amazing joy and unity and just energy that is experienced during that time. And I miss that. So I just want you to know I love you and I'm praying for you, and I can't wait for our time next year that we get together again. So I just want to share a little bit about what's been happening in my life and the life of our church. So let me begin by just saying this. Hebrews 12, 1 and 2 has become just an increasingly important verse in my life. It talks about how we run with endurance, we run this race, and we look to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith. And there's a couple of reasons why this has just become so incredibly important in my life. Number one, last year on December 25th, my mom had a massive stroke, which then led eventually in the early part of February, she had another massive stroke. And on February 16th, she passed away, where she went to go be with Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Now here's the thing, my mom loved Jesus Christ. She woke up every morning studying the Word, and she desired to share the Word and disciple women each and every day of her life. In fact, she worked with my dad at Edward Jones as a financial planner. And every client that came in, she would share the gospel with, and she would just demonstrate the love of Christ. She was intent on running the race well. Hebrews 12, 1 and 2 was her life verse. She wanted to run well. And at the celebration of life service that we did in March 16th, there was over 500 people that showed up, and 500 people communicated that they couldn't be there because of COVID. But every single person testified of her love. Almost every woman there had been discipled by her to some degree. Now, my mom was just a layperson. She wasn't paid in the church, but she ran the race well. She wanted everything that she does to be done for the glory of God. And so I've been wrestling with that and challenged with that in my own life. And I'm seeing the need for that just within the church more and more, especially as we've gone into 2020. With COVID and the resurgence of racism, with political division, with the wrestling around with personal protection equipment, and what is the right way for the church to respond to all this, what I see is that the church is being called to keep looking to Jesus and running the race well. And so there are many areas that I see God has just blessed us at Timberline on how we've endured through these trials over the last few months. But I can also just see that if we're going to continue to run well, one of the things that we need to do is to strengthen just some of our understanding of our ministries, why we do the things that we do, how we're clarifying the mission at our church, helping everyone understand how it is that they live as a follower of Jesus Christ. So I would just appreciate your prayers for myself and for my elders as we wrestle through with how do we come alongside the church that we would together run well. I would also ask for your prayers for myself. As a pastor, as a father, as a husband, and as a friend, I want to run well. I want to shepherd my wife and my kids in the church. I want to shepherd well. And I've just been wrestling through with how am I running? And what I've learned is that running the race is not just about me getting to the finish line, but it's about locking our arms with one another. It's about helping others to finish the race too. And so I've just been wrestling with that over the last months. How am I doing that? And how can I continue to grow in the grace and the knowledge of Jesus, that I'd keep looking toward Jesus as I run this race? So I appreciate your prayers for me and for the church. Hey, I miss you. Sure love you. Can't wait to see you. Looking forward to it this next year at Seaside. Have a great day. See you soon.
Well, hi, I am Pastor Marcus Elmer from West Hills Community Church, and I just want to say hi to all my pastor friends and the NAB&W friends, and I just wanted to give you a quick update on how things are going here at West Hills in Salem, Oregon. And you know, as I look back over the last 6 months and all the COVID-19 stuff, I just want to say that God has done an amazing thing right now. It's been difficult, horrible, challenging, all of that. And in the midst of that trial and all of the just the tragedies going on with COVID, you know, He's given us something. He's given us something very precious, actually. He's given us the opportunity to have conversations, to pray together, both in leadership, on staff, in our congregation. We've prayed and prayed and prayed and asked God to show us how to move forward through all the decisions about should we meet in person or not, and how to do online video stuff. And what's been amazing to me is how God has answered prayer, and how God has given to us everything that we need. And what I've been saying right now is that He's found for us a path, a groove, in which we have found a way to have unity through all of this. Of course, we have all kinds of differences of opinion within our congregation. Our church, well, any church, I think, in our association, has seen a diversity of opinion about COVID-related issues. And so we've decided we're going to meet in person because we want to love God. Jesus' two greatest commandments, love God, love others. We want to love God by continuing to meet together and honor Him on the Lord's Day. But then what we've said is, in order to love others, we need to do that safely. And so we've really followed Christ's two greatest commandments. We meet together because we love God, and yet we're doing it as safely as we can. And so we've divided our Sunday morning service up into 4 different rooms in our church. Some of us meet in the sanctuary, some of us meet in the gym, some of us meet in the computer room, some in the library classroom. And we kind of just live stream everything, and also, of course, we're going out live stream on our Facebook and all that for people who are staying home. But God has found us a way. He's found us a groove, and we so appreciate that. And I don't think we've lost anybody. I think everyone in our church is just hanging with us, and we just so appreciated that. That's what God is doing right now. Who would have ever thought that we would have had to be talking about things like this? But that's what God is doing in our midst, and He's given us the path. Love God, love others, and we're doing that. Thanks to Jesus for that. And I love all you guys and gals and friends in NAB&W, and I wish the best for you. And let's keep doing this thing together.